Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're still checking in with yourselves and being real about how you're feeling. And we're going to follow that up this week as we think specifically about a certain emotion, which is anger. And I just want you to think back to the last time you were angry. And what was it that made you feel that way? Was it because you couldn't do some schoolwork? Or it's because you're not able to see your mates right now? Or, my personal favourite, get moaned at for leaving your dishes on the side? Then my big question is, how did you respond? Because we don't always respond the same way when we're angry as we normally would. Maybe you gave someone the silent treatment, or maybe you're someone who's quite shouty when you're angry, or maybe you're saying the meanest things you can. You see, anger doesn't always look the same in each of us, and it affects each of us differently. And anger is this really powerful emotion. That's not saying that we should never be angry. There are times that we should feel angry. We should feel angry about the fact that people get racially discriminated against. Or we should be angry when people are picking on someone else. We should be angry when there are people out there who are hungry and there are injustices in the world. And I remember getting really angry walking the dog just the other day. And there was some litter on the floor because someone was throwing it on. And in one of it, the dog had eaten a chicken, was trying to eat a chicken bone, and a chicken bone can actually kill dogs. And I was so angry as Harry tried to eat it. I was upset. You see, anger is a powerful emotion, but it's not a bad emotion. But it's often when we're angry, we can do things that we wish we could take back, whether they're words or they're actions. And this can be referred to as destructive anger. So what do we do with our destructive anger so it doesn't kind of affect the bosses around? In the book of James, he talks about how we should conduct ourselves. And in one part, it says this: "Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in humility that comes from wisdom. But if you harbour bitter envy and selfish ambition in your heart, do not boast about it or deny the truth. Such wisdom does not come down from heaven, but an earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where you have envy and selfish ambition, you will find disorder and every evil practice." You see, in this bit, James is encouraging us to be humble and honest and do things do the thing that every good friend would do, and call out yourself when you're thinking that you're actually more than you should, when you think we are more important and better than others. It's when we have pride and arrogance inside as it comes out in our actions. Later in James, he says, "What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from the desires that battle within you?" The hard truth is that as long as we believe someone else is the issue, we never deal with the anger inside of us. If we truly want to deal with the roots of our anger and our frustrations, we need to start looking in the mirror. The problem is sometimes inside of us. When we own it, we can begin to control it and we can finally start to deal with it. So instead of saying it's their fault or he did it or she did it, we can stop and look at what is really causing us to feel angry and actually ask that question: how are we feeling really? To overcome our anger, James highlights humility, and we see that in Jesus too. In Philippians chapter 2, verse 6 and 7 says, "Who being in the very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used for his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness." It also says earlier in the same passage that we are to have the mind of Christ. And thanks to Jesus, anger doesn't have to be the boss of you or I. Now just imagine if you could control your anger, you were able to recognize it and humble yourself to know that you're part of the problem. Ask yourself, how would that change your life? What impact would that have on the people around you? And I encourage you to think about that this week and maybe speak to those around you and think about those times that you can find yourself getting angry. See you next week, guys.